Nice. Let's jump into this. Palo Alto Network. Yeah, this one is a good one. This, it's at all-time highs. I think it will continue to chug here. Uh, the weird thing that's happening right now is that EU has passed some sort of sweeping laws against tech companies, and the Nasdaq says, I don't give a fuck, and keeps moving higher. So yeah, that's happening right now as we speak.
So the reason I was thinking that Pan W was higher, maybe I'm wrong, is that because they were talking about all the cybersecurity attacks that should be happening, but apparently aren't going to happen. But Palo Alto does firewalls and IDS and networks and stuff like that. I use them
Uh,
at work a lot. And
yep, Palo Alto and Cisco. Crowd is specialized cybersecurity, but
yeah,
Cisco, Palo Alto Networks, and then you have this Snow, Dynatrace. Dynatrace, I don't know. Then you have Norton. Even Norton has to do well here. What's the other one?
you probably get Splunk.
Zscaler.
Splunk's probably
Z.
one.
Which one?
Splunk, SPLNK.
Splunk is not really a cybersecurity thingy, but yeah, it's a network monitoring suite basically. Yeah, Splunk has to do well as well. I think it will continue its push towards all-time highs, and most likely it will break it. And 633 is not out of the question for this one, Palo Alto
Six,
Network.
really 633, huh?
Yep, the next
Pre-market it hit 628.
market it hit 628.
Yeah, I was looking to catch it off a bounce at like 623, possibly 620.
Huh. Yesterday, okay. I don't have free market data. It's not populating for some reason. Uh,
Yesterday was again an almost an all, or sorry, the day before was an all-time high. It bounced in the pre-market and then ran up past that again. So I figured people would take a little profit off again,
then push up. Yeah,
then push
yeah,
up again.
yep. And I think it's gonna push up. I think tech will keep pushing up today as well.
I think
Uh,
0 days are safe for that.
if you want to play something like a lotto, yeah, go for 0 days. Otherwise, I would stick to a good 2 weeks out. But at this point, you want to see how. Right now, you don't want to be jumping into that trade. Right now, this is what is. Uh, this is what is need to be. Let's open up here itself. Yes, futures. Okay, so the number that we were looking for is 4530. The futures did touch that. So uh, this is in the books. On the SPY side of things, I don't know if SPY hit that for 4535. So futures, this is what uh, this is what we were looking for right here. So futures hit that, and I want to see what SPY did. And the SPY is about to test that number around here, if it didn't already did it, 452. So this is where a lot of decision making will happen. And as of now, where things stand with VIX, so this is the number that will be the line in sand. This will be deciding factor, 452 to 453. And then we'll see how it behaves here. Then probably we'll figure out the next step. So in a sense, this is what we're talking about, 4535. Hit of this, Uh, there is enough momentum here on the weekly side of things for it to push towards 45.92. Let's give or take 4600. This is where we'll decide what needs to be done next. It is almost there. SPY or the SPX will open around here, uh, 45.35 range. Right now, I think SPY is hitting that 45.34.51. So here is where we are waiting. 452.20 something for SPY. And this is VIX, and VIX is continuing to die, and I think VIX will go below here 2120 range, and then most likely it will push down towards 2080. Nothing is affecting VIX as of now. The whole thing that Russia is not accepting, or Russia is now accepting payments in rubles, and also Russia is now pushing their Sinopec partners or people from the other part of the world to either pay in rubles or what is that, euro. So that's happening on that side. So it's still no effect on VIX, which is which is, I don't know. I don't have the right word for that. It should be a major factor that something is testing the stability or the king dollar, if you will. Something is testing king dollar right now, looking to dethrone dollar as the global currency. So that is happening right now. So VIX is not reacting to that, and strange enough. And then you have some, EU passing those antitrust laws or data privacy laws. That is happening, and that is still not affecting any of the big tech. It is what it is. But as long as you have institutions, trying to buy, you can't really stop anything. And all they need to do is buy three or four companies' shares, primarily being Apple and Microsoft, something like an Amazon or Google. That is it. That is all it takes uh, for this to push up. And as we know, Apple hit all-time highs yesterday. And so this thing is continuing. Let's watch this number, 2126. If that breaks, we're looking for 2070. So let's see how this plays.
Did you say Apple hit all-time highs?
Mhm. No, 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 not all time. Yesterday's new highs of the day.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Whew.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, 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 not all time. Sorry. All time highs is about another 10 points away from here, almost about 10 points. But Apple is definitely threatening to hit that all time highs. It is already going here. But the good thing is the blue bars are starting to appear here. So let's see how that plays out. If you're short or if you're concerned about Apple, yeah, hit the first standard deviation and starting to push down. But looks like this is where it will push into in a week or two. Technicals are very very vague, if you will. Last week it was about here, and this week it's about here. So look at the technicals. This was supposed to come down and probably make its. I think this cycle is not yet complete to the downside, the weekly cycle, and the money flow index on the weekly is still pointing down, but the RSI is pushing up. That's another thing. This cycle, this stopped right in the middle and started to push up. Even this did not complete. So a lot of things that needs to be done are not complete yet. Uh, on the daily, it looks good. On the daily, it really looks good for a push up. It broke this resistance. I think it's pushing into 177, somewhere around that. VIX is very cooperative to the markets to the upside. It keeps breaking down. So that's another thing that I'm watching. VIX futures, Apple, Microsoft. And if you look at VIX on the monthly, it is still pointing up. So I don't know, it's just starting to come down just a bit. I think VIX, the volatility is being kept down. It seems like on purpose. It's been kept down on purpose. And there's a lot of chatter from the Fed speakers, and Ms. Yellen was speaking today, and I think she has some she has some choice words for not choice words. How do I say that? Uh, Let me put that out about oil and stuff. She is actually, I think she's still speaking. So the price of oil will keep going up, and that is obvious trade. And uh, I would expect the 10-year to keep going up. So oil prices going up, 10-year going up, and that definitely will dent global growth. And even with all of that being said, VIX is still not reacting. That is strange. So VIX, the daily is doing this. I think VIX is this is quite a bit oversold here, and I think VIX will go down to this number now, 2090. I think this is where uh, we'll look for a bounce. So a good point, almost a point on VIX. We're still waiting on that. That means it's going to go down the straight line. It will There will be bumps. You have this big support here. It will bounce off of this support. Then you have this big support. It will bounce off of that support. Then it will start to probably push down towards this number here, 2088, somewhere around this. This should be some sort of a good bounce point. So still a good point down on VIX. Everything is still telling that. All the crossovers are still in place. Everything is valid here. Getting oversold, getting resolved, starting to push down. Same pattern, same pattern. And this thing will keep continuing doing this until until the larger time frame says otherwise. Okay, so today I think this will be the focus. Cannabis. Cannabis will be the focus today. Look for anything. I put out a couple of stocks out there, ACB and CGC. Can I don't want to get involved in Can because that's a penny stock, but look for a grow generation, or rather, if you want to play something safe, look for an ETF. CNBS looks like a good ETF. Look for that one. And besides that, I want to bring your attention to. I know we spoke about this yesterday, but this is what I want you to see. Continual dojis on industrials. So this is something that needs to be on everybody's charts. On the regular candles, it's not showing up as dojis, but on the average candles, which are Heikin-Ashi candles, these two are showing up as dojis. So something you need to watch. Both are showing up as dojis. So keep an eye on that. And these are daily candles. And another thing, rut. Rut is the on the Heikin-Ashi time frames or Heikin-Ashi candles. The super trend is sitting up here, and this is a doji, and this is obviously a follow up on the doji to the downside. Usually, this is how it works. And if you look at the regular candles, it has hit its super trend right here to a T and started to push down. and it's hitting its 8. Uh, Even though it looks good here. All the technicals are looking good. Momentum is starting to wane out, and this thing is starting to come down. So this is telling you a different story here versus this. SPX is giving you a totally different narrative. And there was one pale green bar here, and I think there has to be another one today. And I think this is being intentionally, pushed up. The indices without Apple and without Microsoft, those indices are not doing uh, like this. They are not behaving like this. And if you look at Heikenhashi candles, it's running into resistance. So let's watch this space. I think it will push towards a 45.35. SPX will push towards 45.35 today, which is here, the mean on the weekly. And so this is the number that I'll be watching. I think it will take a breather here and then push above to this number, 45.49. And this has to be the breather here. This has to be a breather or a larger breather for that matter. Then we will probably reassess the situation right here, whether it's going to take start to push down from here or continue its journey into this number 46. So that would be a deciding factor. So base case 45.36. Next up after that, good to have is 45.46, and top should be 45, let's say 46. That should be top. And if you can clear this top, then we're looking at all-time highs again. Will that happen? Well, two standard deviation at the moment is pointing above the all-time highs. So all-time highs being 44, 48 something. I think the two standard deviation, or rather third standard deviation, is pointing above that. Possible, totally possible. No, not third standard deviation. The second standard deviation itself, that is pointing above the all-time highs. So yeah, totally possible. Not out of the ordinary. The way that things are going, and we have momentum on the weekly. So here is the base case 45.36. Good to have is 45.46, and the top today should be 46 to the upside, and to the downside 44.79. Well, even before 45.10, then a push down towards 44.76. I don't see it going below that. And absolute bottom 44.58. These are the numbers I think we should be looking at. Uh, 45, 44.58, 44.76, then 45.09 to the downside. And Tesla, of course, this Tesla, I think if it pushes up today, 1068. This is what we are looking for. 1068. So 1070, round it up to 1070. That's to the upside. And looks like it is trying to form a base around here. It doesn't want to go below this number. So if it pushes below this number, that'll be nice. Then we can look for 968 or 970 on Tesla. On the daily side of things, this thing is looking strong. And as long as VIX keeps dying, I think this will keep building momentum to the upside. And here, 1051. Uh, if it clears 1051, then we'll look for an upside of 1070. This is where per technicals it should stop here. So let's put candles here. 1058 on the regular ones, and 1067 is the second standard deviation. So sorry, 1170. And this is what weekly. No. 1170. That's too far-fetched. So 1070 is what I'm looking for. 1070 to the upside. 1170 is sitting somewhere here. Uh, Possible. Yeah, second standard deviation is pretty much doable, but this is what I'll be looking for if it pushes up. 1070 on the daily time frame. I'm looking for 1050. Ideally, I would want Tesla to push down towards 989, 988, and break below that to 960. Ideally, that's what I want Tesla to see. Or if a touch of 21.8 comes, that is even better. So let's see if we can get at least one pale green bar here, or at least one purple bar down here. Let's see how that plays out. For ACB, Rob, I think we want to start with equity. We are looking for better entries, uh, and today these stocks will be in play either to the upside or to the downside. These stocks have been beaten down pretty bad. If it can come down, the money flow index is still pointing up. If the money flow index can come down a little bit further, so I'll start with an equity position, then look into expanding into options. And this is a low ticket item, so it should be okay. Another thing that I want to bring up is this guy. And this is, again, I don't know why it is getting a push up like this. And this is where it is headed now, 45.8. So watch for anything that is related to and then the strange thing that even though the Bitcoin is pushing up, Tesla is not doing the same. So the correlation is missing there. Tesla is not really doing the same as it is with Bitcoin. So look for, Mara is a good one. Mara is pushing up. Actually, MSTR is another good one. I'll be looking to, whoa, it's closed. Okay, I'll be looking to play this one, MSTR. Either to the downside or to the upside based on Bitcoin, how Bitcoin is behaving. I think Bitcoin is still pushing towards that coveted 45 number, 45.8. So good 1,000 points on Bitcoin. I'm expecting it to push up. And has good room to 48.3. And I am expecting this to, the base case is 45.9. Let's round it up at 46. Take a breather here. And if it can clear the mean and it's 50, this is where it is headed, 48. And I think this is where 48, yeah. So this is where it is headed. I'll be looking to play minor stocks. I'll be looking to play minors. Most likely, Mara is a low ticket item. So Mara is a good one, and Hut is another good one. It's not behaving right. Hut is not behaving right. Uh, it is running into resistance, and that resistance I think is coming from. Let's see, where is the resistance coming from? Most likely here. This is the resistance right now. So if it can clear this resistance, I think it will push towards this number. Oh, it looks like it cleared the resistance pre-market. So this is where it is now. So good thing it cleared the 50. And next up is 676. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, 670. This is where it is headed now. It has cleared its resistance, and this is where it is headed now. Most likely it will clear that because BTC looks to push, and if it enters this zone, 690 is something, we could look for 796 on hot. Again, I will start with equity here as well, and then look to get into options. These are smaller ticket items, so easily doable. Bitcoin base case is now 45.8 or round it up to close to 49. If it clears there, look for a push towards 48, 48.8 or something like that. So, yep. So those are the ones that I want to play. And where's the 1 hour chart? This is the 1 hour chart. SOX. And this is another one that you want to keep an eye on. This is how you want to play this game. Keep the index, okay? SOX on one side. Look at the ETF, which is the SMH, and then play a stock like NVIDIA or maybe AMD. Uh, yeah, you could do this in LCRX. Anything that you please. You can. There are tons of these stocks. Nvidia is not the only thing. It moves because it has it's INTC is another one. INTC is pointing down, so probably this will drag everything down. Uh, Nvidia Nvidia is looking down on the 1 hour time frame. I think it will come down and touch this number, 279.60. If it hadn't already done that, it will come back, test this number, and bounce off of this number. But if this breaks here, I think we should push down to 270 or somewhere around that, 274, 275 range. Will that happen? It will depend on the SOX. Watch SOX. If you don't want to play an individual stock, play SMH. Or if you want to play individual stock, uh, pull up the charts like this and start playing that way. And if you're playing banks, you have to do this. US 10-year, put it on one side. Wow, it spiked. Oof, oof. Why did it spike? I don't know. It did. I think one of the chairs is talking or something is happening, but then they spiked. And then we have XLF, XLF on watch, XLF pushed up, and then play something like a GS. Wow, GS looks primed to push up, and then look for any other banks, MS, uh, BAC, any of these ones, and then like KB Home. So this is one of the ones that you can play to the downside. Uh, Home Builder XHB. So the idea here is that as interest rates go up, the home buying, it should hamper or it should put some sort of brakes on home buying situation because borrowing will get difficult. And I think May or June they're pricing in 50 bips. So watch that space. They're pricing in 50 bips. So I think as this goes up, this will come down. So watch for that space. In invert, so invert relationship with inverse relationship with interest rates. Home builders interest rates inverse relationship. Keep an eye on that. And again, when you have the interest rates going up, high yield stocks like Verizon, these things will take a hit. Or look for any other thing that pays a high dividend, that will take a hit. Bonds right now are selling off. Bonds are selling off. So keep an eye on that right now. Bonds are selling off. I don't know how it's playing on the lower time frame. So if you want to play that, on a lower time frame, I think 3 minutes to market. On a lower time frame, this is what you want to do again. and XLF is something I'll be looking to play. This is how you want to do it. Okay. This pushing up. Obviously, this pushes up. This will push up, and it has to push up. No other go. And banks like BSE, SunTrust, those are the kind of banks which will benefit. And something like Regions Financial, those banks will benefit from all of this. Goldman Sachs is something. Uh, Goldman Sachs is something which is a little different. It is a big money center bank, but it is not really involved in something like uh, interest rates and all that stuff. So not interest rates. What am I saying? Your mortgage and all that stuff. So mortgage and all that stuff, you're looking to play that kind of those kind of moves. You got to look for banks like Bank of America, Regions Financial, SunTrust, so on and so forth. All right, so let's get into it. I'll see you guys in Sanity in a minute.